Hello and welcome to my channel. Thank you for joining me today. This is going to be a review on the Uniwigs Claire upgrade 6x6 mono topper. Now Uniwigs got in touch with me and asked me if I would be happy to, if they sent me this unit, to review it, and I was, oh yes please, that would be wonderful, thank you. I have purchased toppers from Uniwigs before. I have the original Claire topper and the Melanie topper, and I've always been happy with the products. Uniwigs seem to have really sort of got it right. I've been dealing with different degrees of hair loss throughout my adult life, and have spent many a penny and spent many years trying to find the right hair system for me. I've worked with wigs and hair extensions, toppers, and to be honest, I've only ever come across Uniwigs to be a really great supplier of toppers. They seem to understand the topper system. So it's my pleasure today to bring you this review on this unit. So we'll get down to opening and unboxing the unit, and this will be a two-part video. Firstly, the first part will just be me reviewing the unit straight out of the box, and then the second part will be about how I customize this unit to match my natural bio hair. My hair is very fragile and I'm unable to actually colour my own natural hair, so I have to try and match the unit to my hair colour. Uniwigs do offer a customisation service, and if you get in touch with their customer care, I'm sure they can direct you in the process of getting that done. I personally like to try and customise my own units. I must say and put a disclaimer across that I am not a hairdresser. I did hairdressing many years ago, and had a little dabble in the hairdressing world to give me a small amount of experience with working with hair. However, my customization has come through trial and error and experimenting really with different colours. My natural bio colour is quite hard to match, so it's been a case of experimenting and trying things out. So I would advise, if you have no experience with colouring hair and you've already spent the money on the product and you don't want to risk ruining the product itself, then one of two things: either contact Uniwigs and talk to them about a customised unit and they'll be able to help you there, or you could buy the unit in a standard colour and then take it to your local hairdressers and see if they can help you customise the unit there. Okay, so without further ado, let's get started with this. So this package came through FedEx from America. I'm in the UK. It took 5 days, I think, to get to me, which is fantastic, and it had a tracking service, so that allowed me to keep an eye on its journey. So here we are, come in this package, very excited. Alright, so let's get it open. Okay, inside we have the Uniwigs box. Comes in a nice box. This is good for storage as well. If you don't have a mannequin head to keep your topper on when you're not wearing it, you can always pop it back in its box. Alright, so inside the box comes nicely wrapped in tissue paper, and then here we are. Here's the unit. So it's in a nice hairnet to keep it nice and together, if you like, and then we have a little bit of packaging inside. So one thing to bear in mind when you first get your topper out: it's been packaged, it's been in transit, so the chances are it might be a little bit misshaped. Anyone that works or has to use hair toppers will tell you that when you first receive your hair topper, it's not going to be just like your hair. You're going to have to work with it. You're going to have to customize it, perhaps wash it, shape it on a mannequin head. There's a few things you might need to do before it's perfect for you. So first impression straight out of the box, the hair is beautifully soft. It's really, really lovely and soft. Okay, so I'm quite happy with that. Now you can see immediately that this 613 colour, so this comes as a G613 Platinum Blonde, and it is very, very blonde. And of course this is completely different to my natural hair colour, but I knew that was going to be the case. So it's got a retag on it here, and this is just saying here that it is the style and the colour 613. I don't know if you can see that. Colour 613, 20 inches, 150 density. Okay, so it's nicely chopped at the bottom, so it's kind of cut level. I might go in and just feather that when I customize it, just to give it a less of a severe chop, because I'm going to need to blend it with my natural hair, and I will also add some form of either taping extensions, but if you don't want to use taping, you can use wefts or a halo extension. Uniwigs supply all these things, I believe, as well. Okay, so the unit itself, it has a middle parting, if you can see that there. So if I just pop my finger underneath, you can hopefully, sorry, the light, there we are. You see that with my finger underneath, it's very skin-like, so it's a good parting. It's got a lace front, so there's the lace front there. This is the mono section here. So this is basically, it means it's hand-tied, so there's hand-tied knots. So what this allows is a lot more movement when you want to change the parting perhaps. And then on the outsides of the mono top you have the wefted sections. So these are a little bit stretchy, which is great when you're fixing it to your head. It gives you a bit more give. And then we've got 4 clips. So we've got 1, 2, 3, 4. And these clips are really, really good. I like these clips. They're really secure. So they're nice and secure for you and grip into the hair really well. Okay, so obviously it's come out of the box. If I hold it like that, you can see there's a little bump, a little ridge there where the packaging has just sort of kept it in that shape. I'm not worried about that. I know that when I wash it, or when I start to customize it, or even fix it to my head, that's going to help flatten it down a little bit. Okay, now the actual lace front here, when I try this on, I am going to keep the lace front there, because when I customize it, this lace front allows me some grip. So when I put it on the mannequin head ready to colour it, I can actually stick my pins in this lace front here, and that allows me then not to have to stick it in the actual mono top, and it just secures it to the mannequin well. So I'll leave the lace front on. Now the one thing I have noticed straight away that I haven't noticed before when I've received toppers from Uniwigs is that, I don't know if you can see this through the camera, but actually you can't really see it there, but when the light shines through it you can actually see the wefts a little bit, but actually in the camera there it's not as visual. Again, if you see that and you think, oh, that looks really thin, I'm not too worried about that, because I know that when I smudge the roots, when I darken the roots on it, that's going to add some dimension. And I also know that when it first comes, it's so silky and smooth that it looks finer. However, after it's washed and blow dried, that hair comes to life a little bit more. It kind of lifts a little bit. So again, I think that's just down to the packaging. Okay, so it's a very, very, very soft and lovely unit. It says it's 150% density. yes, it feels really well put onto the unit. Maybe it's because, again, it's been flattened down. It feels a little bit lighter than 150% density to me. The only reason I say that is because my other unit's 130% density, and they seemed slightly thicker when I received them. However, it might well be that this has just been really well packaged and it's flattened down and it just needs a bit of life putting into it. So you can see there, if my finger's just on the edge, and you can just see a little bit of wefting there. Can you see that there? I'm just trying to get it into the light. There we are, that there. So if you see that, I don't want you to worry too much about that, particularly if you're colouring it, as that's going to add darkness and dimension there. Okay, so let's pop this baby on. Alright, so I'm dealing with very, very fine hair. I've been treating my hair and trying to get it back into some kind of life. It's getting a bit better, but as you can see, I've hardly got a hairline there. It's very, very thin, frail and snapped, balding towards the top and the crown. And my hair's actually freshly washed, but it always looks greasy and not very nice because it's got no life to it. As you can see at the ends, it's extremely thin. I mean, I've watched lots of YouTube videos over the years, and I have to be honest, some people come on to the YouTube and sort of show their very thinning hair, and many people that have alopecia and balding and thinning hair really are quite honest and show you all these patches. And then there's some people that say their hair's really thin, but it actually seems a lot thicker than mine, and I would give anything to have natural hair at their thickness than my own. This, to me, there's nothing to be done with this. That's frail and fragile, and it's really, really difficult to work with, to do anything with. I certainly wouldn't go out of the house looking like this. And this is it. The whole sum of my hair on my head comes to that at the end. That's my whole hair. For most people, that's half of a bang or a fringe. You know, this is all I've got. So obviously I've got a lot more bio hair than some people, so I'm lucky in the sense that I can work with this bio hair. Now bear in mind, when I put this on my head, it's going to be a completely different colour to my natural hair, but that's okay because we're just reviewing the initial out-the-box experience. So like I said, I'm keeping the lace front because I'll need that for when I'm colouring it. So I'm just going to fold that under slightly so I can try and fit it to my head to the best of my ability with the lace front still attached. You will need to cut this off, obviously. Alright, so I'm going to take the unit, I've undone the clips, take the unit, and I'm going to place it just behind my hairline because I like to use some of my natural hair at the front. I'm going to take one clip and secure, and second front clip and secure, and then take the back clip, secure. I'm just holding it down as I do this so I can get a little bit of pull on that mono top. Okay, lovely. Alright, so obviously this is a completely different colour to my natural hair, but it feels really lovely on my head, really, really light. And what I'm doing here is I'm just pulling out some of my fringe. Bear with me as I'm working with my webcam here, just to cover up that front. Now obviously this, it doesn't look right because it's a completely different colour to mine, but this was the point in me doing this because I wanted to show you the difference between receiving this unit in its original state, and then in the second video I'll show you how I completely changed this. and customize it so it looks just like my hair. But one of the things I will say is that it nicely tucks behind the ear. So we've got that natural tuck behind the ear. With a wig, you'll find a lot of bulk around the ear and it's very difficult to tuck the wig behind the ear. But this is lovely and light and tucks really nicely behind the ears here. Okay, so as for coverage, it's got lots of coverage around the front and sides, which is fabulous. So for someone like me that has not got hair at the back, as much hair at the back, or the length of hair, I have to again work with that. I have to think of ways to customize my natural hair and the unit together, so I'm blending them together. So what we'll find is when I turn around, you'll see the coverage on the back here, and you're probably going to be able to see my hair through the back quite easily, and my hair will stick out the back there. Now I'm going to have to do something about that, so I wouldn't be able to wear this unit by itself, but for anybody that has hair that's length at the back, then you're going to be fine with this because the coverage is at the front and the sides, which is really, really nice, and it's a very natural density, so it's not too thick, but it's just thick enough to give you that extra lift of hair. It's very, very soft. I have to keep saying that. It feels lovely, and it's nice and flat to my head, nice and light. I don't feel like I've got anything on my head. I can draw the unit back and pull it back into a ponytail, and obviously their lovely little ponytail, all the hair's tucked behind the ear. It looks nice and natural, apart from the difference in colour of course, but we're going to work on that. So I'm going to leave it there for the moment, and I will come back to you in the second part of this review to show you how I completely transform this unit into matching my natural hair. And I will add a little bit of hair to the back of my head so that I can fill it all out. Lovely. Thank you very much for joining me, and I will be back with you for part 2. Thank you and goodbye.